Hey lady, guess what? We have officially opened applications for our next round of the Soul Elite Mastermind. This is an elite mastermind coaching experience for game-changing feminine leaders. I started noticing a new caliber of women being attracted to my message. And these are the women that are often 6- and 7-figure business owners who are here to make an impact in the world, but you might also be burning out. So do you want to enjoy your kids, continue to create a profitable career while establishing and creating the connections that you desire in your relationships, and also be able to understand your children on a deeper level? What is their behavior really telling me? Why do I feel a little disconnected? And there has to be a more holistic approach to help them mind, body, and soul so that they grow up to become the person that they were born to be, while you maintain who you were supposed to be. Do you want to create a work schedule that's in alignment and on your terms? Sometimes working more, sometimes creating less, giving yourself the flexibility to go on vacation with your family, all while making a difference either in your company or in the world. Do you want to become an effective leader, empowering people to create action on their own terms, so that you have more time and energy to make a bigger impact, while knowing the people you surrounded yourself with are supporting you in the way that they're supposed to? If you're ready to rock 2019 and up-level both personally and professionally, and be surrounded with like-minded, game-changing women who are here to make an impact and make a difference in the world, then I highly, highly suggest you check out Soul Elite. mamasincontrol.com/Soul Elite. Simply fill out the application and we will be in touch for your next steps, which is an introductory call to make sure it's a good fit. Either way, know that you are not alone, change is possible, and nobody creates life on their own terms without support. Let's dive in. Are you familiar with the 4 stages of learning? 4 psychological states to unconscious competence. Okay, ladies, I'm back. Today, I wanted to share kind of a theory with you. I'm not a big theory person, but I know there's some of you where your brain just thrives on it and you love to go down the rabbit hole of like, but Heather, why do I do this? Why does it feel hard? Why does it feel easy? Why does my child do this? Why does my husband do this? Why can't I figure this out? So I did a little research and I found this model called the 4 stages of learning. And if you Google it, the 4 stages of learning, you'll find a lot of information out there. I could not find the direct source of who kind of invented this theory. It feels psychological based, so and it seems pretty popular. So this is where I want to talk to you about habits. Let's say a month ago, I was really raving about James Clear, or is it James Cleary? The Atomic Habits, the book called Atomic Habits. And, there's the compound effect, like there's so many things out there, the power of a habit, like all of these things, these books, these people talking about habits. And learning a habit is not really sexy. Like it's not exciting. You're not going to get me a buy-in to create a habit. But creating a habit is a tool. So too often when I'm working with women, they will come to me with, symptoms like a disconnect in their parenting, just not understanding their children's behavior whatsoever, screaming, yelling, whether it's from you or the child, and just feeling like you're failing. You're like, not this. This is not what I want. Maybe within yourself, you're feeling like you don't have enough time, or everything just feels like too much. And you're looking around, yourself and other people, and you're like, well, everyone else is feeling like this, so I must be doing it right. But the truth is your soul is craving something different, and you can see a train wreck coming, and therefore you do not want that. You want freedom. You want energy. You want this lightness within you, whether it's emotional, physical, mental, spiritual. I don't know what you want. My point is, the 4 stages of learning come into play when you are designing the life that you want. So I'm going to tell you what they are, but because you're listening to me and you're not watching me, I want you to visualize a circle. And you have just like a clock. So you have the 12 o'clock hour, you have the 3 o'clock, you have the 6 o'clock and the 9 o'clock, right? So every quarter point on the circle is going to represent a stage, okay? So the top of the circle, the 12 o'clock, that is the unconscious incompetence. So unconscious incompetence is where the learner isn't aware that a skill or knowledge gap exists. So the learner can be you, the learner can be a child, the learner can be a partner, the learner can be anybody. So think about people in your life when you're looking at them and you're like, oh my gosh, if they just did this, their life would change. All they do is complain, or they're stressed out, or they're this. But they're not even aware that there is a learning gap or that there is a skill or knowledge gap that's missing. Oftentimes, these people have ridiculous amounts of excuses. Their mindset is, I can't. They often play the victim in their life. On the contrary to that, like think about the contrast of this. The individual is unconsciously incompetent. So they're not aware that there is a knowledge gap that exists, but they are open to possibility. So example, I want to run, I'm just saying this, I don't really want to do this, but let's just say I want to run a marathon or I want to write a book. Okay, I might be unconsciously incompetent because I know there is a learning gap there. But if I am open to possibility, I can seek that out. So the second stage of learning is conscious incompetence. So at this stage, the learner is aware of a skill or knowledge gap. So you're like, I need to learn this, and understands the importance of acquiring a new skill. It's in this stage that the learner can begin. So again, I know I'm using many analogies here, but I'm going to take food as an example. Why am I not losing weight? Why am I gaining weight? Why am I, working out more and nothing's changing? Why have I started to eat differently, but my body's not changing, right? So unconscious incompetence would be, I'm not even aware that there's a gap. I'm just like, go, do. And then all of a sudden someone comes to me and says, hey, I can change your life. This is what you have to do. And they start teaching you and coaching you about the process. And you're like, oh, I never thought of that. So in this stage, oftentimes it could be overwhelming. So this is the second stage. This is the this is the unconscious incompetence. Nope, I lied. Stage 2, conscious incompetence. So in this stage, the person is like, oh my gosh, there's a gap. Okay, cool. Now I will start on this path. So the awareness is key. But oftentimes in this stage, you're like, oh my gosh, that's hard. That's scary. I don't want to do that. The awareness is there, and now they're like, oh shit, I actually have to do this. Stage 3, conscious competence. In conscious competence, the learner knows how to use the skill or perform the task, but doing so requires practice, conscious thought, and hard work. So now you're like, your personal trainer has given you your workout routine. They've given you your meal plan, and you're like, damn it, now I actually have to follow through with this in order to receive the results that I desire. So you're consciously aware of what you need to do. So in this learning cycle, there's both the yin and the yang, the light and the dark, right? The contrast, what you desire or not. There's always going to be 2 types of people. Like, I know exactly what I need to do. I'm just not committed to following through with the results. Or I know exactly what I need to do now because I've been given guidance. I'm educated on the skill. I have the plan, and now I just need to execute. And then stage 4 is the unconscious competence. In unconscious competence, the individual has enough experience with the skill that he or she can perform it so easily, they do it unconsciously. So let me give you an example of stage 4. And again, there's always going to be refinement. Some of the cycles that I was looking at actually had a stage 5, which was mastery. And this is just going to be rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And as you know, once you master a skill, there's always going to be a next level that you can take it to. So unconscious incompetence, again, stage 4 is you've been rinsing and repeating, right? So now you're like, yep, I'm staying on the meal plan. I'm consistently working out. I'm in alignment. This feels great. And you might look back and go, how did I live without this? Like, what the heck did I used to eat before? How did I function on such low energy? How did I want to sleep in till 10 o'clock every day? Oh my gosh, I have so much energy. So the reason why I wanted to share this model with you today is because I get so many women, we get in our own way mentally. This model doesn't talk about beliefs, it doesn't talk about stories, it doesn't talk about all of this. What I like about this model is it is pretty black and white. So stage 1, you have the unconscious incompetence. And this is like, there's a problem, I don't even know how to solve it. Stage 2, conscious incompetence. I'm aware of the problem, and now I'm open to receiving and acquiring a new skill. I'm ready to go. Stage 3, conscious competence. I know exactly what I need to do to change my situation. It's rinse and repeat. It takes consistency. It takes practice. Stage 4, unconscious incompetence. Wow, I've been practicing and implementing this habit on a daily basis. Therefore, I don't even know who I am without it. I just do it all the time now. I make my food. I don't even think about it. This is not hard for me anymore. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So one of the reasons why I wanted to share this is, one, to hopefully give you a mental break, to show you that you're not a failure. Just pay attention to which stage of learning you're at. So think about your challenges. I don't like to call them problems. I don't like to call them struggles. These are challenges, right? We all have challenges. There's always things we're working through. So think of a challenge or something you want to learn or a desire or a goal that you have. Ask yourself, what stage of the learning game am I at? Am I unaware that there's a gap and I'm living in denial? Am I aware that there's a gap and I know that I need to acquire a new skill? Whether you choose to act on that or not is totally up to you. Are you in the phase of rinse and repeat, creating consistency and habit? Or have you gotten to the point, I'm sure we all can think of times in our life like this, where you've implemented a habit so much that now it's just unconscious for you. You're like, oh my gosh, that's so easy. Again, if I think of the learning curve around, podcasting every day, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? Now I'm like, this is easy, this is easy. So again, understand that you, one, have control. It will be uncomfortable. You will have ups and downs, and there are psychological stages of your learning. Things will feel hard, and then they will get easier. But here's the trick. When I looked at this, I thought, how does this pertain to what I'm learning and teaching? Is it not so annoying when you know somebody and you're like, if you just did this, your life would be easier, right? Are they even in the stages of learning? Or are they stuck, rooted, planted in the unconscious incompetence? They're like, I am not going to stage 2. I am sitting right here. Do not show me a solution to my problem. Therefore, I actually have to follow through with it. I'm afraid of failure. I'm afraid of falling. I'm afraid of rejection. So I'm just not even going to go there. Unconscious incompetence. I see it all the time with people I talk to every single day. And I'm sure people that are masters at things that I want to master look at me and can tell which phase of learning that I'm in. This is the evolution of humans, right? If we could just look at everyone and everyone was completely open and trusting and said, if you do XYZ magic, this will happen for you. But the truth is we have to trust ourselves. We have to be the ones that are ready and willing to implement, ready and willing to practice and repeat, and make magic happen. So I hope this was helpful for you. Again, resources that I would suggest if you want to look more into this, it's called the 4 stages of learning or the 4 stages of competence. I will have some links for this in the show notes, but just ask yourself, your challenge today is like, what stage, okay, you've thrown noodles at the wall. You've decided to take a big leap, implement some goals. Have you given yourself a break yet? Like, what stage are you at in the learning process? Don't give up if you're on stage 1. Don't give up if you're on stage 2. No, it's consistency. Keep going, keep going, keep going until you get to the point where you're like, wow, I don't even notice that I do this anymore. This is so easy for me. It's part of my lifestyle. I've adopted it as part of who I am. And if you're having a hard time because it's really uncomfortable for you, because you're really working through a lot of resistance, then I suggest look back, right? Think about when you started to walk as a baby or started to talk or another habit. You started to crawl, you fell down, you got back up. And then do you think about walking right now? No, you don't. Do you think about talking? Do you think about, honestly, like there's so many things that we do in our lives that we're not realizing. We went through the 4 stages of learning. Watch and observe your children. Watch and observe other people. 4 stages of mastering something in your life. So just keep going. That's all I got for you. Keep going.